So honored to be joined today by the AEW International Champion. The man will be defending the title against Jon Moxley at AEW Full Gear on November 18th at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. The one, the only, Orange Cassidy. Thank you so much for joining me today on Under the Ring Pro Wrestling Conversations. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I didn't have to wrestle this week, so I feel okay.
All right, good to hear. So this match against Moxley, second one in the rivalry. This time you're once again the champion. When people look at this match, they likely see a paradox in terms of the intensity of you guys, but you're one of the smartest wrestlers around. What's it like facing him, and what are your thoughts on the matchup with him?
I guess it's not fun to wrestle Jon Moxley. I don't know, whatever when you look at that giant monster, it hurts every single time. So I'm not really looking forward to it. The feeling I'm going to have after the match, but um, I have a lot to prove to myself in this match, because the first time that Jon Moxley and I wrestled, he did beat me, and it didn't sit right with me for a very, very long time. So now I have the opportunity to, um, get my, I don't know, like it's just a weird. There's like a missing feeling I have holding the championship, and I don't think I'm going to be able to feel complete until I beat Jon Moxley.
And you guys had a great match at the All Out show in Chicago. The match that you referenced there, your international championship reign, the first one, was one of the most impressive title reigns I've seen in the modern era of wrestling. You had so many unique matches with so many different people. Every match was different. Every match had its own little kind of identity. What were your thoughts on that run? And did you have a match in that run that stands out to you that you kind of enjoyed at all?
There are a lot of the matches. I think it's very difficult, especially within AEW, that we have a lot of championships and um, uh, a lot of very talented wrestlers that are on our roster. And when I received the international championship, at that time it was called the All Atlantic Championship, I really wanted to show everybody what AEW is capable of, the different type of matches we could do, the different type of styles we could do. And it's just funny that that me, Orange Cassidy, had to be the person that did that. But I felt very privileged and grateful that I was able to get that opportunity to have as many matches as I did have. Obviously, Wheeler Yuta sticks out to me a lot as somebody that I really wanted to punch in the face. Um, and there were also some, there were so many. Sometimes I forget a lot of them, because when you have so many, it just kind of clumps together. But
Right.
like early on that reign, I had Jake Hager and Big Bill, and those guys hurt. Lance Archer, and those big monsters. Then I had the Flyers. I had like Jurlistico, and I had yeah, I now that I've removed myself from it for a while, and I've been able to think about this, and I get this question a lot.
Mhm.
I am very uh, I'm I still can't believe I got away from Swerve Strickland, because that was probably one of the hardest ones I've ever had. Um, that people kind of don't think about, but he really, I am, I still don't know how I got away from that match with the championship.
And you have the one with Shibata too, which is like it's so for me it's so fun because you're such an adaptable wrestler that you can work all these different type of styles with any different type of guy.
Yeah, it is. I, I, I like to, when I get the opportunity, I like to show off a little bit of what I know. And when I have those matches with those people that do have a different style or something unique, and I'm able to play off that. That's what gets me excited the most about these matches.
Nice. I just thought they were really a highlight of the programming. It was something I was looking forward to every week as it evolved over time, and I was happy to see you get the title back because I want to see more of that. So even though if it's going to
Yeah,
hurt
I mean
you,
that's the plan. That's the
yeah.
plan. But I've started out a little rough. But I had Claudio Castagnoli a couple weeks ago, and that one was right up there, probably if the top match that I had that I like above Swerve or right there with Swerve, because that was I don't know how I won.
Yeah. To me, you're outstanding and one of my favorite wrestlers to watch. I feel like when some people watch you, they either don't understand you or they make the active choice not to understand you. It took me a few times when I watch you, but for you, every movement has meaning. Every move means something. And to me, just from a pro wrestling perspective, that is ring psychology at a mastered level. Do you think that's accurate? What is kind of like your own take on ring psychology? And have you found yourself having to explain Orange Cassidy to people who just don't get it?
I the idea that someone says they don't understand me or they don't get me, that is an act, like you said, that's an active choice. I think they choose not to. I think they completely understand what is happening. I uh, I don't. Why do I have to explain myself to people, right? Like, I feel that I am going to put out the art that I'm going to do, and then if you don't like it or if you don't understand it, that's fine. That's your thing. I'm not. You don't have people going looking at someone's sculpture or painting and being like, have the artist stand here and tell me what they were doing. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Right.
And I do hold professional wrestling to that standard, and I think it should be, and I think we all should be.
In a recent press conference, I had heard that you noted that Jake the Snake Roberts was a favorite of yours growing up. Have you guys had any good pro wrestling conversations? I feel like it annoys people probably when I do this, but I often compare you to him only because the ring psychology seems to match up to me. It's the same type of thing. The movement matters. Everything he does makes a difference. So have you gotten to connect with Jake at all while you guys have both been around in the same company?
Yeah, Tony Khan actually blew up my spot a little bit because I do, not too many people know about that, and he decided to say it, for the press. But
Oh, okay.
uh, I have talked to Jake a lot, and he is very, very helpful. And he actually gave me a couple of moves, but then Lance found out about it, so then Lance beat the hell out of me. So um, Jake is the way he would talk in front of the camera, the way he would move in the ring, was so unique. I mean, you can't think of anybody else that did it that way. So I don't think I lifted anything in the sense that of what he did, but I definitely understood what it took to stand out.
Yeah, I think it's less the moves themselves, but just the meaning of the movements. Even the time in between what you're doing, for moves matters.
It, even now, Jake is cutting promos walking to the ring that are 20 seconds long, 15 seconds long, and they are every single word
Yep.
is so impactful. And he is. I mean, we all know Jake the Snake Roberts, but to me, he's one of the most underrated wrestlers in professional wrestling.
Yeah, and even like you said with the talking too, it's like similarly with you. Even like this week on Dynamite, for example, when you talk, people are going to take notice because you don't do it like that all the time.
Right. And I think it's TV time is very limited for some of us, and when you get that opportunity, whether it's 10 seconds or 25 minutes, you got to make it count.
Yeah. So I'll look forward to all the awful headlines off of this that say that I'm comparing Orange Cassidy as the modern Jake the Snake Roberts, but I'll look forward to all of those and
It's
duck it.
gonna happen. It'll never stop. I apologize for you.
Yeah, I'll enjoy it though because I've been saying it to people for like 6 months now. They say in wrestling that the persona is usually the person turned up. Is Orange Cassidy you turned up, or and is that even possible?
Yeah, no, this is just me. There's no turning up or turning down. This is just who I am. So I don't know I know what they say. Oh, you got to turn yourself to. No, this is just how I am. I mean, look, this is my green screen. Look, I don't even know how to use it.
Love it.
You know,
Um, what was it like to? And I don't know how much you want to get into this. Like I said, you've probably had wrestlers even that didn't get your persona the first time they saw it. Is there anything that you would tell people when they saw it for the first time? And what was it like to kind of commit to this as your career, and hope that people connected with it?
I didn't. I just did what I wanted to do. Right. I've been wrestling for a very, very long time, and I would get I would get a lot of advice early in my career, and I'm not saying that advice was bad. I'm not. It just didn't apply to me. It was just something that they heard that they knew to say to somebody when they asked for advice or something. I also got a lot of great advice. I also got but I got a lot of great advice, but it just I just did the opposite. So, I did take the advice, but then I did the opposite because it's whatever they were saying, what everybody was saying wasn't working. So I was just like, I'm just going to be myself. I'm just going to do what I want to do. I'm going to wrestle the way I want to wrestle that I think is interesting. And I never planned on any of this. It just sort of happened and people connected to it. So I just didn't stop pretty much. I mean, I know it's a simple answer, but that's really
Yeah.
what it was.
Was there anybody early in your career or even into now? I know you mentioned, talking to Jake about different things in wrestling, but was there anybody else mentor wise who did connect with you and it did give you good things that you could use that you would
Uh,
want to call out? I mean,
no, yeah, no. There were a lot of people that helped me out significantly. I don't want to blow. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to give. I don't want to do that to them. But they helped me
yeah,
out a lot. But I do. There is one like Colt Cabana was early on. He was there that kind of like helped me out a little bit. But I think he's the only person I know. He won't care if I say his name.
very nice, very nice. What does it mean to you to see your character connecting with audiences? Little kids coming to the shows, a lot of people coming to the shows dressed up as you, and just seeing that kind of. I mean, that's really what every wrestler is going to hope for what they're doing, right? I mean, that you're making a connection
Yeah,
with the audience.
absolutely. It's that's the goal. I mean, I know. Having little kids dress up by you as people dress up, like and listen, I know it's easy. You put up you get some jeans on, you get a jacket, you get some sunglasses and a shirt, but that's great. That's whatever the internet says, I look out into the crowd and I see what's going on. So it's the goal, and I just want to keep raising the goal and the bar so that I want everybody to wear sunglasses in the arena at one point.
We could probably comment. That would be great if on the next Wembley we get like an entire
Jeez.
side of the
I don't think they would.
stadium.
I don't know if there's enough aviators in the world to do that.
I mean, we could have knockoffs and stuff too.
There
Just
we go. There we go. Yeah.
we had Chris Statlander on several weeks back. She noted you as a strong mentor in her career from a backstage perspective. Is it satisfying for you to help other wrestlers as kind of the veteran now? And uh, you know, just how do you feel about that kind of role for yourself and people? And mentioning, your help to their cause and their career.
I mean, Chris Statler is very special because she's part of our little stable, and her and I have become very good friends. And she's in a very similar spot that I was when my first title run that she's in now, so we can kind of lean on each other and kind of help each other out. Um, it's not really so much that I'm mentoring her as we're kind of just like bouncing ideas off each other, and then it's also very easy when Chris Statlander is one of the best professional wrestlers in the world, just to be like, oh hey, you should do this, and she does it incredibly. Like I'm not really doing too much. She's already figured it out.
Yeah, it's also interesting how her persona has kind of evolved too, because similarly to yours, she comes in, she's an alien, and now she's had other like you've done, you've added other wrinkles to what people know about you and added more things to the story. So I think it's just it's interesting to me to see sort of how people view different things in wrestling, like comedy and other sorts of things, and then either give it a chance or don't. But I think you guys have a lot in common there.
Yeah, I think if I've been in AEW for what, over 4 years now. And there is something charming, I think, to somebody that remains iconic and the same. But if you look in professional wrestling all throughout, I mean, in any type of art form, like if the person if I don't grow, if I don't learn from my mistakes, then what are we like? Why would you care? And I think that's important that we all kind of grow and learn and not be so stubborn with how we develop.
Yeah, it's good. It sounds like a big collaboration, in a lot of ways to kind of get you guys where you want to be. So I love the song, but how on earth did Jane by Jefferson Starship end up being your theme song?
Way before AEW, it was the song of choice for me because I saw a movie called Wet Hot American Summer and I loved it and opened up the movie and it was just awesome. I never heard it before, and I was like, man, I gotta walk out to that. And then it was the way it was, and then I had it for years and years and years, and obviously we couldn't get the rights. So that's like the Pixies came in, which is also a phenomenal song. But then
Yep.
Jefferson Starship came back and they said, yeah, okay, we'll do it because they saw like the publicity and stuff it was getting. So, um, yeah, it's kind of crazy every now and then when I'm about to walk out and I hear it because it just, it's like part of my routine now. It's nice.
I find myself telling the announcers to be quiet whenever it comes on because I want to hear it. Do
Yeah,
you,
I get that a lot. People say like, "Oh, I love your song. Why don't they shut up when they're done?" It's like, "Hey, sorry, I don't know."
and do you know if anybody rocks out to it backstage during the sound check, or is it weird? If have you heard it in public somewhere, and while you're out somewhere in real life, and just like, oh, you know?
I love when people tag me and stuff like that. Oh, I'm at this bar in Orange Cassidy. Like somebody went to an actual Jefferson Starship like concert recently, and they were playing it, and they took a video, and they were wearing my shirt. It's kind of wild.
Oh wow, I know Mickey Thomas still performs it too. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's, it's awesome. It's funny too with your song and with Bray Wyatt using White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane that those groups sort of ended up having a resurgence in pro wrestling
yeah,
pretty much
for
at the
sure.
exact same time.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, you've been wrestling, as you said, for a long time. Did you ever think a break like this that you're having in AEW would happen? I've talked to many people who saw you pre AEW, always said you were outstanding, but outstanding doesn't always get rewarded in pro wrestling for whatever reason. So, how do you kind of put what the last 4 years have been in perspective for yourself?
Um, uh, I don't think about it. I really don't. I just think about the next thing and what I can do better. I'm not one on looking back and being like, wow, this is great. Like I just want to keep going. And I think uh there's a lot of times people ask me like, "Oh, do you have any advice?" Or like, yeah, the moment that you stop and the moment that you give up is when you'll actually fail. If you stay persistent and you keep going, you're never gonna fail. So that's why I just keep going and I just keep going and I keep going and I don't look back.
What was that grind on the independent scene like for you?
I was very fortunate. I think I had some good places that I ended up right before AEW. Like Beyond Wrestling was always really great to me. Really let me do what I want to do. And then GCW was one of those places that let me do what I wanted to do. And luckily those were some good locker rooms. Obviously early in Chikara, that was the best locker room I've ever been in. Um, and I think I got lucky by the places that I worked that were great. So yeah, I can't really complain too much about that.
All
I had a
right.
good time, so I don't know. I don't know other people.
Excellent, excellent. So we're going to move on to something we call the 3 count now. It's going to be 3 quick questions and your answers. So we talked about this one a little bit already, but can we get Mickey Thomas from Jefferson Starship to sing you out to the ring for Jane at some show at some point in the near future?
That would be awesome, but I don't want to put him on the spot. But that'd be great.
Yeah, I found myself looking up his various performances. Like, okay, is he still doing it? Okay, 2022, he's still singing the song. He still sounds really good. But I've wanted like so AEW's had so many cool music performances live that I'm just like, all right, we need some big show with Orange Cassidy, and I don't know what it would take, but
Yeah,
I
I
would
don't
like to
know.
see that.
I have no idea. Probably more money than I have. Tell you that much.
It wouldn't necessarily be us making the decision either. So, second question: how much does your ring attire cost? And being in AEW, did you have to buy more of it because it was wearing out faster? And what is the most expensive thing you wear in the ring?
The most expensive thing I wear in the ring is my Ray-Ban Aviators. Um, they I get them like custom made so that not custom. I get little engravings on them on the sides of the ear tips that say freshly and squeezed. So if I hand them out or if somebody gets them, they know that that's the ones that I actually have. And then I just buy jeans and then jackets and really it.
Did you have to
I'm
buy
not.
more of it? Did you have to buy more of it in AEW because it was because
Yeah,
wearing it in the ring all the time?
yeah, eventually I had to. Now I just have a closet full of just different colors of denim.
And then the last question, assuming you weren't a grown man wearing denim and shades coming out of the womb, what wrestlers and what wrestling did you grow up watching and enjoying? And did any of that shape who Orange Cassidy is?
I think I watched all the wrestling I could possibly watch. I watched all different styles, all different things, and I think that's what helped shape me. I couldn't really say I watched one thing. Obviously, ECW was a big influence because I was at that perfect time of a fan when they were blowing up that it was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. So, and then when I got to that, I got opened up to the whole world of um, British wrestling and Japanese wrestling and lucha libre, and it's so I think it all helped shape me because I don't like just one thing. I like it all.
So you were a tape trader, I'm guessing?
No, my friends were, and I just borrowed.
Very, very nice. Well, Orange Cassidy, thank you so much for joining me today. International Championship against Jon Moxley, AEW Full Gear, November 18th at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles on pay-per-view. Thank you so much. I'm enjoying everything you're doing, and you are absolutely one of my favorite wrestlers.
I really appreciate you saying that, and just don't tell anybody that my green screen sucks. Like, look at that; it's not good.
Luckily, the people on the audio version will just be like, "What is he talking about?" But the people on the
Perfect.
YouTube version will be like, "What is happening with this green screen?" I've actually seen worse, so it's good.
Good.
Continue using it. I enjoyed it. So thank you so much for joining me. I really, really, really like this. Thanks.
Thank you very much.